Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are learning the third and final part of this choreography. If you are just now joining us, I've been teaching you guys bit by bit, with this being the final bit, my very first aerial hoop routine that I ever performed. So if this is the first one of these videos that you've watched, you might want to go back and catch the first two so you see the whole choreography. Or you can do this part as a separate choreography by itself because it's a nice little combo all alone. I'm teaching you without the music today because, like we discussed before, YouTube is going to copyright claim me as soon as I put music with it. But I will be putting the entire choreography with the music so you can see how it works with the music, which is Diamonds Are Forever, the James Bond theme song, up on this channel next week. But before we get started, I'll just remind you to please do subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot by making sure the YouTube algorithm sends more people to this channel, and it helps you guys out because it keeps you from missing any of the tutorials or choreographies that I put up every week. So please do take a moment and subscribe. So as I was editing this, I realized I forgot to film one little transitional moment, but I have that from another video that I filmed recently, so we're going to use the backup video. Basically, you're going to end part 2 of this choreography, which we did on the last video, sitting in the hoop. And from there, the little transition here is you're going to do a gazelle split. Again, I have tutorials for all of these moves already on my channel, so if you need to review your gazelle or any of these other moves, then look at that tutorial. They should be very easy to find if you just search my videos on my channel. Anyway, we're turning our body sideways, leaning back, keeping the hoop between your leg and your torso, and going into a gazelle split. From this gazelle split, you're going to transition into a back balance. So I'm going to take my free arm, the arm that is not holding my front leg, and I'm going to reach up, grab the hoop between my back leg, thigh, and my hip. I'm going to grab the hoop above my front leg with my other hand, and then pull so that my tailbone comes a little bit more onto the hoop. The hoop is slightly higher up on my back, and turning myself perpendicular. Is that perpendicular? I'm a little sick today, guys, so I'm not really thinking that clearly. To the hoop so I can come into my back balance. And that's all that little transition is. It's gazelle, back balance. From my back balance, I'm going to walk my hands up the side of the hoop when I'm ready. This is coming any minute now. There we go. Hands up the side of the hoop. And I'm going to finish by placing my hands on top of the hoop, one hand on each side of my span set, because the next move we're going to do is an illusion. And I'm finishing coming out of this back balance by placing my hands in the correct placement for the illusion. Okay, back to the part of the video I was organized enough to film properly. Oh dear. Alright, so we're going to do a couple of beats going into an illusion here. You're just going to swing your legs back and forth. You can do it a couple of times if you want. I'm just doing one. And then place one foot between your arm and your hoop on each side, straightening the legs as they come through and pushing the hoop away from you as you come down with your legs. You don't need a full straddle split, you just need to push the hoop away from you. Next, I'm lifting up one knee and hooking it over the top of the hoop, placing my opposite foot on the bottom center of the hoop and pushing away, coming into a push away split. Notice that I have not moved my arms here. My hands have stayed in the exact same place since I came out of my back balance. I'm doing this little stylistic leg crossover thing just to add a little bit more visual interest into the choreography, and then sitting back down in the center of the hoop. Make sure that as you sit down, you're still in a nice position. It may be a rest as you sit, but you don't need to look like you're resting. You want to make sure everything looks very stylized even when you're sitting and resting. Next, we're going to do an outside leg mermaid into a beauty roll into an Amazon. So I'm placing one hand on the top of the hoop, taking that same side leg and going a full 180 degrees with my body, pointing my belly towards the ground as I lean away from the hoop, coming into a mermaid. Next, I roll back towards the hoop, taking my knee and then my arm and shoulder between my body and the hoop, rolling through. Again, I have a full detailed tutorial. I know I'm just blazing through this right now, but if you need more details or more pro tips, then check out the tutorial. And I roll into an Amazon. Make sure my bottom arm is nice and straight. I do a nice big circle with my top arm and then replace it on the top of the hoop. I can do some walks with my legs. And when I'm ready, I take my outside leg, that's the leg that's farther away from the hoop, and place it onto the bottom of the hoop in the center. I allow the hoop to turn and come back into a seated position. Once again, I'm pointing my feet and making a nice shape with my legs as I sit. But I'm not sitting for long because I'm doing a big rond de jambe, that's a big circle with my leg, scooting my hips forward and coming into a star on the bar. Slightly an awkward angle to see it on this video, but you can see it's a star on the bar. From here, we're going to do a little tiny baby drop. I'm just going to grab one foot, doesn't matter which one, because this is the last move in the choreography, and then let my hips slide forward, pulling down on that back foot and sliding into my knee pit, coming into a single knee hawk's position. You don't want to do this too violently the first time. You want to think of it more as a slide, but as you get used to it, you can think of it more as a drop. And that is the whole thing. So let's go back to the filler video to review this little transition. So we have gazelle going into back balance. Remember, on this transition, you need to pull your tailbone more onto the hoop so you can come into your back balance comfortably. If your tailbone is too far off the hoop, you're not going to be able to balance. Then we move back into this little illusion moment. Notice that all of my movements as I'm finishing up this last moment of the choreography are becoming quicker and smoother. The music here really starts to become more powerful, a little bit faster, and you want to match that in your movement. You want to make everything a little quicker and a little bit smoother and a little bit more sleek and polished. You don't have time to really think about things as much as you did in the first part of this choreography. You'll see when I put up the video with the music next week. So that is the entire choreography. Good job to all of you guys who have learned the whole thing. It's about 3.5 minutes, which is not short. Next week, we'll see the whole thing with music. And until then, I will see you guys next time.